All right, one of the things I haven't done is a video of this garden project. We started this year. Well, yeah, this summer. So I had two high school kids graduated last year, and they're trying to start a fencing company, a ranch fencing company here in Wyoming. Come and put these in, and they did a pretty good job. So it'll protect it from deer and just anything else bothering the hives. But deer come in here, and all winter they're eating our plants, and anyway, it was a pain. So I just wanted it totally protected. So my idea is most of the garden, the core of it will be perennial or just plants that'll keep coming back. And so I did a row of strawberry starts or raspberry starts here. A row of raspberry starts here. And on this side of the garden, I basically picked and shoveled these trenches and picked out all the rocks, because our ground here is just a riverbed. Below the surface, that's what it looks like. And dug down, and then I bought bags and bags of mulch and fertilizer, and just created these really rich beds for these two rows. And then I left this just hard pack, gravelly, rocky ground, hoping that and I'm gonna cover it with ground cloth and mulch once I get the watering system in here, which I actually had somebody install the sprinkler system instead of doing it myself on this house. And so, because the ground's so rocky, I had a machine that would pull that poly pipe through and the ground easily, and I didn't have to trench or anything. I had him stem off the main line so that, and then I ran extra wire. I trenched it and ran extra wiring at the beginning of this summer into here for the control box, because there's a whole panel of extra controls. And so I have a mainline stem here, and I'm just gonna trench here and send lines out and around as we finish this side of the yard and water the garden off of the sprinkler system. I think that's what I'm gonna do. On this side, I rented a skid steer and just dug out this whole rectangle here and hauled all the dirt around and built up the back side of the shop over there and the driveway. And then I replaced it with topsoil. So I put pretty decent soil in here, and then I built up these bed rows with mulch and fertilizer and just turned them over with the shovel, so it was really mixed. Mulching has been really awesome. I've been using soil pep mulch, bags of it, and it's kept the weeds down. This row here, I've only pulled like a dozen weeds over the last 2 or 3 months. Every once in a while they'll pop up, but rarely. And then they hold water. I can dig down and the soil stays moist, which has been really nice. And they just protect the surface from getting all hardened and everything. Plus they act as, I heard somebody refer to it as a tea. So this soil pep has quite a bit of fertilizer mixed in with it. And so as the water just keeps going down and going down, it takes all those nutrients down into the root system. And so it acts as kind of like a tea bag, just with the water seeping through it. I thought that was an interesting concept. And then I'll come through here and I'll sprinkle Miracle Grow or mix and pour Miracle Grow onto each of the plants. So these are doing fairly decent for the first year. It's been kind of a rough summer. It was a really cold spring and then suddenly a hot month, and so they're kind of struggling a bit. But the root systems are established, and next summer, probably by the end of summer, these will be huge bushes. The strawberries took off. These were just little tiny start plants that were probably this size. I've been planting some of the runners as they come off. And I've been picking most of the blossoms off. I missed a few here and there, and so I've kind of left like one strawberry here and one strawberry there on, just so we can pick maybe a bowl full of strawberries this year, and that way the plants can just send out all these runners. Some of them are really booming with runners. This row especially is taking off with runners and filling out. So my goal is to get these rows as filled up as possible. This one's really exploding with runners. Get these rows as filled out as possible this summer and just let them really take off next year and harvest a bunch of strawberries. I planted 2 rhubarb plants. Some kind of bugs keep pounding the leaves. I can't really put poison down. I need to look for some organic, non-bee harmful poisons because I've got the beehives right there. So you've got to be really careful about what you use in your yard, especially in the surrounding garden. Even without flowers and stuff on things, I'll see the bees crawling around getting the water from leaves and stuff every once in a while. So these rhubarb were tiny little plants when I planted them at the beginning of summer, and they're just taking off with pretty good amounts of water. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do something. These are really getting pounded. Even these new leaves coming out are getting hammered. But and those plants, if you treat them right, will just keep coming back year after year. And then this year I did throw in 3 tomato plants. So we've got pretty good amounts of tomatoes growing in there. And these 2 plants have taken off. And then this Roma is just being really runty and the leaves are folding up. I've tried lots of water. I've tried little water. I've gotten good fertilizer on. I don't know. It was kind of a wispy plant anyway to begin with. And then I think what I'm gonna do is build raised bed boxes. At least back in here, I think that's what I'm gonna do once I weed it all out and clean it. And then I'm gonna build a slat board back wall to those hives just to keep the north wind from coming in, hitting them, and just to create kind of a backdrop. I've read that bees like some type of backdrop back there. So anyway, it's coming along really well, and I'm excited that the deer won't be able to hit it this year. Up on the bench in our first home up here, they would just mow down my strawberry plants and my smaller raspberry plants, and I just made me crazy. So anyway, slowly coming along, slowly transforming the yard and the garden. One of the nice things about living here is we get all our water from that little canyon there in this little community surrounded by farms. And this lot, and then we own the half-acre behind us, they have irrigation, free irrigation water for the summer. So these spigot lines. So hand watering, I can water all I want. I didn't connect my sprinkler system to this just because sometimes it comes on later than I want to turn my system on. So, again, I can't recommend the mulch enough for mulching around the strawberries and raspberries, just keeping the weeds down and so forth. Once I get my irrigation lines set in the ground and the drip lines with the valve set up, I'm going to pull the hose back, and then I think I'm going to put ground cloth and big wood chip mulch that I can walk on in between the rows to keep all the weeds out. So, coming along.